It's a huge honor for me to address to this distinguished audience. This conference is devoted to policy and values issues, and that is why I will allow myself to focus on one important observation. The problem is not that, in fact, that in authoritarian countries, the space of freedom is shrinking to the size of the prison cell. The problem is that even in well-developed democracies, a lot of people started openly questioned the universal principle of Declaration of Human Rights. And there is a clear reason for it. The current generations inherited the system of democracy, rule of law, and human rights from their parents. They have never fought for it. They started to take these values for granted. They became a consumers of democracy, not a carriers of these values. They start to see a freedom as a possibility to make a choice between cheeses in supermarket. And that is why they can easily exchange their freedom for economic benefits, for illusion of safety, or for their personal comfort. But the truth is that freedom is very fragile. Freedom can't be given once and forever. We every day make our choice, and values must be protected. This means that we have to base our policy and all political decisions not only on economic benefits, geopolitical interests, or security issues, but on human rights values. And that is why it's so important the readiness of Ukrainian people to fight against Russian aggression. When large-scale invasion started, not just Putin, but a lot of international partners thought that we have no chance to resist because Russia is so enormous opposing power. But suddenly, it became obvious that people fighting for their freedom and their human dignity are stronger than even the second army in the world. And this is our main Ukrainian lessons learned, that ordinary people can have much greater impact than they can even imagine. Ordinary people can make a history. But the truth is also in that fact that we survived because of you. When large-scale invasion started, the civilized world told, let's help Ukraine not to fail. And Ukraine obtained first weapons to be able to defend ourselves. And first serious sanctions against Russia were introduced into force. But this is a time to change this narrative to another one. Let's help Ukraine to win. Because there is a huge differences between let's help Ukraine not to fail and let's help Ukraine to win fast. And we can practically measure these differences in types of weapons, in speed of decisions, and gravity of sanctions. Putin is preparing for a long protective wars. And that is why it's become so crucial, the question of Ukrainian recovery. We can't postpone the recovery after the war because we have no idea. Either we are in the middle of the war, in the end of the war, or just in the beginning of the war. This means that we have to start all recovery process now. We have to put a human being in the center of rebuilding process. We have to involve local authorities, local business, and civil society organizations into this process. Democracies must win wars and not lose the peace. Success of Ukraine is important not just for Ukrainians. Success of Ukraine will provide a chance for democratic future of Russia itself and for a lot of other countries who will be inspired by our example. Because only spread of freedom make our world safer.